Okay. Don Yorty has just shut up. He's here in my apartment in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, and I thank him for bringing some lovely flowers. Um, and he asked me to read from my newest collection, The Beloved Community. And this is the second time that I've been recorded by Don, so this is kind of terrific. Feels totally cool. All right. So I'm going to read the title poem of The Beloved Community, and in some ways it kind of sets up what I want people to think about in terms of the fact that often we are in very intimate situations that are kind of accidental, that we didn't know were going to happen until they do. The Beloved Community. The Bangladeshi man walks slowly, so slowly. I know he is ill. He shuffles a broom about the laundromat, then sits in front of the largest dryer. Then a Latino comes in, frantic, pointing at the flyer posted on the laundromat's window. What happened? She asks. The attendant says, she died. But when? How? 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks, he says. He knows only this. Dead 2 weeks. The memorial is for later in the day, in a place far from Halsey. The flyer's crisp image of a black woman face, smiling, young looking, but she was not young. 2 weeks. La Senora shakes her head, her purple streaked hair tamed by her sadness. She always said hello. She was always smiling. She says this to me. I nod and try to smile with her memory. She looks once again at the image, black and white, utilitarian, on the glass surface, then walks out onto the sidewalk, undone by new grief. Poverty is a broken tooth, no smile, is bone poorly reset, weak limbs, medicos various, the fear of speaking unless spoken to, fine translation skills, a dollar means, a later bus is, an opportunity fails, falters at the sight of cracked tooth. Who are you is really, why did you come here? American geology is harrowing. An unlikely loveliness grows and cracks beside crack houses. And that one was created because I had a broken tooth and I had a hard time getting a job with that broken tooth many years ago. So it is as simple as that. And here's something that's not so simple. The skin of the thing, which I wrote when I was at the BAU Institute in Cassis in the south of France, and the Mediterranean became my muse. The skin of the thing. The sea, rivers, memory, recalling boat names, ship titles, manifest handwritten or typed. Holes forgetting, stowaways tossed, suicides unknown, refugees, fabrics, heirlooms, jewels removed. This human cargo. Tongues in search of listening ears. The sea is here. The sea is there. The sea flicks waves against a high cliff's edge. Fear shadows the diver's reckless motion. A useful tropic cascade. Mammal bodies are made of water, but land walkers can only live near water, not on it, not in it. The swimmers care little for such calculus, but the divers peer into depths where the floating nameless gather. They dive, then return face up out of water, names called, splendor located. But others may find the wrong equation, their numbers up, an American locution, as in, are you okay? And if you're not okay, how is the query answered? Or is it ignored like a snoring lover? You may do. What is done for memory, to memory, how the skin we wear softens or toughens depending on whether we are touched or rebuked. What are we to make of dreams in which one lover enters the skin of the other, surrenders all but skeleton? How would that work? Would the lovers be okay? Or is such surrender a diver's risk, the cliff's edge comprehensible, then more jagged, more dangerous than first surmised, too late for such odd splendor? Too much, the lover cautions. My skin is my own, more than a surface. Can we abrade each other, exchange lines of derma? This dust of ourselves is enough to share. Hold to the lace that knits your limbs together. Leave such violence to fantasists. How to value a dispersal of self, a body dissolved in love or loathing. Witness the bemused reports of bloated bodies come back to land, unrecognizable, unfamiliar, skin the color of forgotten, if not taken in portions in the organic garden, as if useless even in the unlet splendor. Who watches the lovers quarrel? Hears the curses of reckless divers? Who can touch the skin's surface? How wounded is the tongue that asks such questions? What a surrender of all aspects of their sixth sense organ, manifest, eke visible, the many unnamed, washed up, washed away. And while I was in the south of France, literally the Queen of Soul passed away. Crying in Cassis for the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, dead at 76. The Queen of Soul, breath gone on an August night, or was it early morning near dawn? The Queen of Soul, whose reign was challenged by baby divas with scurrying voices, rose up, but they could never get near to her throne. She was born a citizen of a nation that called brown people queens and dukes and earls and counts, but rarely citizen. Born citizen of a nation that found tongues loosened in the framed temples of justice, love, and recognizable rage. God's people vilified, God's people saved in rhythm, rhyme, time, kept better with the beating back of those who could not name the God they worshipped, Mammon, or offer succor to anyone not like themselves. Voice travel across heart's doors, which once open could not be closed. Voice travels deep in the hippocampus. Mocked and degraded, open up and hear these words. Think, respect, trouble, love, respect, love, think. Think, 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 think. Love. French voices shout in the bright late afternoon. The Mediterranean sparkles today, it will sparkle tomorrow. But the heavens, oh, they will sparkle like never before. The Queen of Soul, the voice that marked and framed a generation of citizens American, then global soul in Dakar, Accra, Tunis, Johannesburg, Seoul, in Marseille, Manchester, London, Paris, Berlin, on the radio in Cologne, Santiago, Tokyo, and Chiang Mai. Her voice trails Memphis, St. Louis, Chicago, Detroit, Great Migration in chords and harmonies, melodies memorable, choruses repeated, trails of tenderness and terror. Woman on the road, body loved, betrayed, slapped about, solved with new kisses. Woman on the road, queen of the train tracks, bus routes, plane rides, car trips, the great migrations circle of motion moving in her voice, a legacy matters brightly as Mars, as keen to be seen since this annum, battle weary resting. And the last poem I'm going to read is an odd one. It is called Poet. The epigram is from the poet that it sort of is in dialogue with. Her name is Shui Muren, Hsimuren. She's a Mongolian poet, and I discovered her work several years ago because she's published by Green Integer. And the epigraph is, please do not believe my beauty, do not trust my love. Sweet Marin, an artiste from the across the darkness of the river. The poet is Mongol. A translator follows her heart, once broken, and yet she sings it in a way that makes her broken heart my broken heart. She is in exile. The mountains are now ruled by China, and her culture is assaulted daily. Buildings blasted, children made to learn Mandarin. This is all too familiar. The ways of empire, very old ones, very new ones. But these are poems of love and poems of loss. The lover's inconstancy is all too familiar. Her laments are tender than angry. There are many storms in her poems. They rise from the mountains, from the sea, from the rivers inside her veins. They rise up. And oceans far from her, a woman reads her words and quickly says, Sister, I have been there. His hands holding mine, gone. His lips no longer touch mine. And yes, the yellow roses, the birthday kisses, our shared embrace of deep down Chicago blues. Those conversations knee deep in the dream of dark loving tremble in my heart. And so you stand in the shadow at a train station, looking for the moment your love steps off his train. He is not alone, and you will not be happy. The storms throb the streets of Taipei and scatter rose petals across the sidewalks and streets of Brooklyn. Thank you, Don, for letting me read from the beloved community.